Hey everyone, today we'll recap a 2018 story named The Tutor. Spoilers ahead, watch out and enjoy. Story starts with Sebastian, a student whose parents are heading to Venice. They decide not to take him because he hasn't been studying for his entrance exams and needs to focus on his studies. Left at home, Sebastian drinks and searches for a tutor to help him with foreign literature. The next day, he meets Michelle, his new tutor, who gives him his first assignment, to read a book. Even though Sebastian is disappointed by how short the lesson is, he follows Michelle's instructions and reads the book to write a short review. The next day, Sebastian went to see his tutor, Michelle, with a film disc. Michelle noticed he was late, but took the disc. She read his essay and liked it. When she called him a teenager, Sebastian didn't like it and said he was a young man. Michelle then talked about the author's view of the book's character. Sebastian joined the discussion and watched Michelle closely. Michelle touched her ear and trimmed a wilted flower from a bouquet. She gave Sebastian a new task, and when he asked why she didn't throw away the bouquet, she said there was still a closed bud on it. As she walked him to the door, Sebastian asked if she used social media, but she said she didn't use the internet at all. Back at home, Sebastian isn't very interested in his friends. Meanwhile, Michelle decides to watch the horror film Sebastian gave her. The next morning, during Sebastian's third class, he finds out that Michelle had a small problem with a burst pipe. Sebastian helps by turning off the water, and soon the class starts. Michelle gives Sebastian a dry shirt to wear. Sebastian does well in his classes, and Michelle is impressed. She suggests stopping the classes since he's now well prepared, but Sebastian wants to keep going. Later, Michelle's younger sister, Marina, visits and invites Michelle to her son's birthday party. Michelle agrees and goes to the party. Marina tells the guests about her sister and asks Peter to look after Michelle. Peter pours Michelle a drink and compliments her, showing interest in getting to know her better. The attention from Peter made Michelle uncomfortable. She realized her sister had introduced her to him on purpose. Peter invited Michelle to visit him, but she was offended because she wasn't interested in a romantic relationship. It was clear that Michelle cared more about her nephew than about Peter's interest. Marina asked Michelle to be more friendly, but Michelle refused to pretend she was interested. After apologizing for being honest, Michelle quickly left the party and went home. The next day, Sebastian arrives early and finds the apartment door unlocked. When he goes inside, he sees Michelle getting dressed and feels even more attracted to her. Michelle is embarrassed and quickly puts on her clothes, asking Sebastian not to peek into her room. At the end of the class, Michelle returns the DVD to Sebastian and thanks him. Later that evening, Sebastian buys lilies, thinking of Michelle, and gives them to her. He tells her he bought them for himself because he liked the smell in her home. Michelle asks him not to buy any more flowers and places the lilies in a vase. As Michelle turns around, Sebastian asks her to call him by his name. They share a kiss, and the attraction between them grows. However, they soon realize that their relationship is inappropriate. Later, Michelle creates a social media account to look at Sebastian's profile and photos. In the next class, Michelle tells Sebastian that she will no longer continue teaching him. She admits that their unconventional relationship is unlikely to work and suggests he find a more suitable teacher. Sebastian ignores her and starts removing his clothes. Despite her efforts to stay composed, Michelle gives in to temptation, and they end up spending the night together. Then, Sebastian opened the curtains and admired how the sunlight reflected on the walls of the room. He complimented Michelle and shared his deep love for her, feeling confident about their relationship despite the age difference. They began spending a lot of time together, exploring foreign literature, sharing meals, and enjoying each other's company. Despite the age gap, they felt completely happy and believed their relationship would last forever. A few days later, Michelle met her new neighbor, Dimitri, who showed interest in her, but she wasn't interested. Later, Sebastian threw a party, and his friends came over. They brought balloons shaped like zebras, and the girls talked about the party while the guys sat separately. One of Sebastian's friends mentioned that Emily liked him. Sebastian and Emily exchanged glances. The friends started a game, and a brunette mentioned she had never played it with a great guy before. The guys went outside for a smoke, and Sebastian noticed he liked the girl. His friends spent an active night at the party. The next morning, Sebastian and Emily woke up together in bed. Sebastian realized he had made a serious mistake. He missed his class with Michelle, and feeling guilty, decided to visit her in the evening to confess that he had cheated. He was expecting Michelle to be furious, but she took the news surprisingly calmly. This reaction left Sebastian stunned, and he felt even more remorseful. In his self-punishment, he poured water on himself and slapped his own face, After Sebastian left, Michelle searched for Emily's profile online. While looking at Emily's photos, Emily realized she didn't need to compete with her due to their age and beauty differences. The next day, Sebastian was coming back from the shop when he bumped into Emily at the entrance. She had forgotten something at his place, so they went up to his apartment together. Emily retrieved her item from under Sebastian's bed, and he was surprised she had left it there. Emily admitted it was intentional and suggested they go up to the attic, but Sebastian refused, saying he needed to study. Emily then clarified her intentions and proposed they be friends with benefits. She was upset that Sebastian didn't take her seriously. Later, Sebastian went to Michelle's place. The door was open, and Michelle was dressed up and had prepared dinner. In the evening, Michelle had prepared a romantic dinner and dressed up for the occasion. However, Sebastian suggested they go for a walk in the park instead. Michelle felt uneasy about being with someone much younger than her. During the walk, Sebastian tried to hold her hand, but Michelle declined, worried about what others might think. Eventually, Michelle realized she was upsetting Sebastian and began to show him affection to comfort him. When they returned home, they shared some intimate moments together, feeling no longer ashamed or concerned about others' opinions. After spending time with Michelle, Sebastian ran into Emily on his way home. She questioned his honesty about dating both Michelle and herself. The next morning, Michelle saw Sebastian interacting with his other classmates, which made her feel insecure and disappointed as she compared herself to the other girl. Feeling down, she invited her neighbor Dimitri over. Later, when Sebastian arrived at Michelle's place and saw Dimitri there, he was confused. Fueled by jealousy, Michelle started a heated argument, breaking dishes and pushing Sebastian away. When Sebastian decided to leave, Michelle ran after him, trying to stop him from going. After spending more intimate time together, Sebastian and Michelle fell asleep. Later, Sebastian finds out Michelle in the bed with her neighbor Dimitri. Michelle decided to end her tutoring career, and Sebastian left the apartment. Michelle gazed at the shadows from the curtains as time passed. Later, Sebastian and his friends left the university. He went for a walk with his friend Masha, who shared her dreams with him and invited him to visit. While walking, Sebastian saw a woman's silhouette that resembled Michelle. He followed her and called out to her. When she turned around, they both realized that their story wasn't over yet.